So the link that I shared to all of you on the previous turn was a combined video for two experiments, and the experiments that we are about to perform was related to digital pulse modulation technique, right? In which we are doing first experiment as analog to digital conversion, in which I told all of you that it is not exactly analog to digital conversion. It is the PCM output of uh, the input signals when we are taking multiple signals from multiple sources. Then the combined PCM output was the output that we are interested in, and we performed that experiment. And there was one more experiment in the same link also. Actually, it was related to our PCM TDM systems, in which we are transmitting information or messages from two sources and combining it, and whatever PCM output we were getting, we were transmitting it through a transmitter, and there was a receiver kit also, and we used wired mode in that case, and we assume that whatever we are transmitting from the transmitter, we are receiving at the receiver, right? And I also briefed you about the connections also, but I'll tell all of you today also, because we are going to perform the second experiment. I'm going to share the same link to all of you, but you have to watch it after 20 minutes, because till 0 to 20 minutes we are having the first experiment, that is analog to digital conversion, and I am hopeful that you all have performed that experiment on that turn only. If not, then you can watch the full video, right? So what the second experiment is concerned with TDM PCM system, in which we are doing multiplexing. We are multiplexing messages from two different sources and sending it through a common channel using PCM. That's why it is called as TDM PCM system. So, as I told all of you on the previous term, only that we can have any kind of signal as an input signal, but on the kit, there are two kind of signals available to us. Either we can take DC voltages for both the sources, or we can take AC voltages or any sinusoidal signal we can take. But we preferably choose to select DC signals just for the simplicity of the experiment. But the signal can be any, right? It can be of any form. That is understood. Okay. The second thing that I told all of you, that we are taking these two signals, and there is a timing logic that is defining the timing for which how much time we are taking samples, or how much time we are taking input from the first source, and then after particular slot there is a time slot for the second source. So we are taking inputs from both the sources and combining it into one and converting it into PCM output. So I told all of you that whenever we are doing sampling and we are quantizing the levels of amplitude, because I briefed you about what is the difference between pulse analog modulation and pulse digital modulation, and I told all of you that in pulse analog modulation, the amplitude can be any. The signal that we are going to transmit, or the message signal that we are going to transmit, can have any amplitude from any real values it can take. Okay. But in case of pulse digital modulation, we divide the amplitude level of our message signal into some quantized levels, and each quantized level is allotted some encoded output in terms of zeros and ones. It means that whenever we are taking samples, we are going to see that that particular instantaneous value, the sample that we are going to take, the amplitude value of that particular instant, is going to lie between two quantized levels, or it is going to lie at some quantized level. So accordingly we decide that which quantized level that particular amplitude is lying, and accordingly we select that particular output as in terms of zeros and ones. So I also told you that whenever we are going for PCM, then the modulated output, the data that we are getting, in order to transmit that data, the data is in the form of series of zeros and ones. So we are having series of zeros and ones, and in the first experiment we performed that particular thing as we converted this multiplexed output, and we saw what is the digital output by using LEDs. The LED that is glowing is taken as 1, and the one that is not glowing is taken as 0. So we are having D0 to D6 LEDs that we performed in the first experiment. But whenever we are going to transmit that particular data, whenever we are getting these two information from these two sources and coupled into one, we are getting this D0 to D6 in terms of zeros and ones, but we are getting it into parallel format. So we need to convert it into serial format, because we want to transmit the data serially, right? So in order to convert this parallel data into serial data, we are having shift registers. We know that shift register can do this thing. We can convert a parallel data into serial data using a shift register. But before shift register, when you will watch the video, you will come to know there is a error check detection bit, or you can say that there is a block for error check detection. So you can understand that we include some of the bits like parity bits, so that we can test for same parity bit at the receiver and come to know that in between in the channel, if there is some error occurred, then we can detect it, and if possible, then we can correct it at the receiver end. There are techniques for error detection and error correction. Okay, so we are having various options for this parity. There are knobs. The position of the knob decide which parity we are using. If the knob is at 00, then you will notice that we are not using any parity. If it is 01, then we are using even parity. If it is 10, then we are using odd parity. If it's 11, then we are using Hamming code method, right? And I hope you all are aware about all these error method technique. So we are having this parallel output that we are getting after multiplexing these two information from these two sources, and our information is DC voltage signal from -5 volt to +5 volt from source A, and also a DC voltage from source 2, right? From -5 volt to +5 volt. So we can have any amplitude level, any combination in between -5 to +5 as far as these two sources are concerned. And whatever be the multiplexed output we are getting in parallel, that is some parity bits is getting added up. After that, we are shifting the bits from parallel to serial using a shift register. Then we are having this final PCM output, that is multiplexed output, right? So that PCM output is transmitted. In real scenario, it is being transmitted through an antenna, right? And I told all of you that the final output is nothing but a pulse signal. Either it is having a 0 or it is having an amplitude 1, because we have converted or encoded it into in form of zeros and ones, because it is the PCM output, right? So here we are having this transmitter and receiver kit at the same place. So we prefer to go for the wired mode, and we assume that whatever we are transmitting, we are receiving. One more thing I told all of you that since we are using this particular thing, so transmitter and receiver at the same place, some of things we need to ensure. First connection, you understood that whatever we are transmitting, we are receiving. It means output of the transmitter is going to get connected with input of the receiver. So output data from the transmitter is going to get connected with input data pin of the receiver. That is okay. Okay. Second thing is, whenever I am speaking, so you must know which word is the initial of the sentence. Then only you can decipher it, or you can understand its meaning. In a very similar way, when we are transmitting a string of zeros and ones, then we need to know that which part of the string is initial part of the string. It means the synchronization of both transmitter as well as the receiver is very much required. So there are pins for synchronization. So we synchronize both transmitter and receiver so that receiver can judge or can detect that this is initial of that particular string from the source 1, and this is the initial of the string for the source 2. As well as the clock information is also sent from transmitter to receiver. In real scenario, the information of the clock is sent in the data only, and at the receiver it can detect that this is the clock and generate the same clock, and this process is called as coherent detection. But since we are having leverage that both the kits are available at the same place, so we can make both clock common. So we have understood three connections till now. First connection is output of the transmitter is connected to input of the receiver, so that we can ensure that whatever we are transmitting, we are receiving at the receiver. In real scenario, this must be done using a transmitting antenna as well as the receiving antenna. And the second connection, we saw that synchronization is achieved by connecting the synchronized pins, both of transmitter as well as the receiver, to ensure that whatever be the initial string of the data, or whatever be the initiation of that particular data, should be considered as initial part of the data at the receiver. So we have connected the synchronization pin. Third thing, we have made the clock common so that we can ensure coherent detection, right? As well as there is the fourth connection, and that is what we can say that whenever we are transmitting the DC signal, Then both the reference or the ground should be common at the both of the transmitter and receiver, because the reference should be same. The reference voltage should be same with respect to which we are going to measure the voltage. So that's why we have made ground of transmitter and receiver common, or we have connected both the ground common, or we have connected ground of transmitter with receiver. Okay, so these are the four connections. One more thing, we need to ensure that whatever parity error check detection technique that we are using at the transmitter, we need to use the same technique at the receiver, because if you have coded your data with even parity and you are checking your data at the receiver with odd parity, then you are going to detect error unnecessarily, and you are going to get different data, right, that you are not intended to get. So the thing is, we need to use the same error check detection technique at the receiver as well as the transmitter. So if we are using odd parity at the transmitters, then we need to ensure that we are using odd parity for error check detection and correction at the receiver end also. So we need to ensure that if we are using odd parity at transmitter, so we need to use odd parity at receiver. If we are using even parity at transmitter, then we need to ensure that we are using even parity at the receiver also, right? So these are the connections. So this particular experiment is for, we detect the data, we receive the data and detect the data, we separate both of the data as per the technique that we are going to use here, and we separate whatever the source 1 was trying to communicate and whatever source 2 was trying to communicate, and we separate both the data. So we are actually doing demultiplexing, right? So we are using this multiplex data or transmitted data and demultiplexing it and separating these two things, and we are going to notice that whatever be the source 1 trying to transmit as a signal, as the signal is just DC voltage signal, some voltage from -5 to +5 volt. So we have indicated by using measuring instrument like multimeter. We have measured the voltage that we are transmitting from the transmitter, and we have used another multimeter at the receiver also, so that we can ensure that at both the sources we are getting whatever data we were transmitting. So in the same way, if we are transmitting some sinusoidal signal or some audio signal or some information, some data, right, the same data can be separated at the receiver end. Whatever source 1 was trying to communicate will be uh, received at the source 1, and whatever source 2 was trying to communicate was received at the source 2 of the receiver. So we can ensure that we have demultiplexed the data. So this is the whole experiment that we are going to perform. So I'm going to share the link for this particular experiment. I already shared that the same link on the previous video. You all are requested to perform only one experiment, because it was your sessional week or some kind of things. So I'm going to share the link again, and those who have not performed it, the first experiment also, they can watch the first experiment also. It is a 35-minute video, so first experiment will be from 0 to I think 20, till 20 minutes, and after that it will be the second experiment. So you can watch the first as well as second if you have not completed the first on that turn. If you have completed the first on that turn, then you can watch from 20 minutes onwards, so that you can perform, you can understand the TDM PCM system, the multiplexing as well as the demultiplexing part. Okay. Do let me know if the link is if link is working fine. Okay. Do let me know and complete the experiment. We'll meet after 30 minutes. We'll meet at 3 p.m. I'll take the attendance also, and if you are having any query, then you can ask in between also. You can ask after after watching the video. If you note the query somewhere, then you can ask, as well as save this link so that you can use it. I already have shared this link on the Google Classroom also. You can access it from there also. So complete the experiment. If you are having any query related to this experiment, related to our previous experiment, then you can ask. Okay. So by today we'll be completing total of 9 experiments. Only one experiment will be left. So hopefully we will complete it on the next turn. Okay. So watch this video. If you are having any query, then you can ask. Okay. Complete this experiment, and then if you are having any query, then you can comment also. You can raise your hand also. You can ask by unmuting yourself. Okay. We'll meet at 3 p.m. Okay. Do let me know if link is working fine, okay? Anyone?
Sir, it is not showing at Google Classroom, sir. Your link is not available here, sir.
I've said here also, and I've said on Google Classroom also.
What?
Yes. So you can't see the link in the this chat box, or what's the problem? Yes, Sahid, you're not
Sir,
able
link
to
is
see.
not, just you just have written here, sir. Link is not there.